A year ago, we made agave wine. Let's see how it aged. So this is a little light, 8.4%. It also ended at a 1.032. So this is pretty sweet. It's probably what we would call a dessert wine at this point.
I have a vague recollection that Brian liked it, which he assumed he wasn't going to like it because of his previous experience with agave.
But I did like it because I believe this is the last bottle we have. Yep.
There might be a 2-year stashed away.
Oh, I don't know if we were doing that yet. This is, I mean, we just started doing the 2 years rather recently. Okay. It's not totally clear. It's got like a little bit of a haze to it.
But
Mild,
it doesn't.
It's like a 6.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not crystal clear, but it's clear enough.
It's got a lovely champagne-like color. It is really strong on the aroma.
Yeah, it's got a nice rich bouquet.
There's a lot going on there.
Caramely, well, almost a little smoky. How did I get smoke?
Yeah, it just kind of...
Floral.
It kind of reminds me not of a scotch, but of a bourbon aroma. The way it has all those different...
Oh, I'm not quite getting that. Well, maybe a little. A little.
Maybe like
it smells like mead.
Like a Canadian.
It really smells like mead to me. It really does.
I'm projecting.
Yep, I'm going to taste it. Oh, that's nice.
It has a really lovely creamy sensation in the mouth. And that pairs perfectly with the sweetness level. So it kind of reads like a liqueur.
I wouldn't go quite that far. It's a dessert wine, without a doubt. It's very viscous. There's a lot of mouthfeel, like you're saying. I don't know that I'd go liqueur, though. It's
not like sickingly cold.
Oh, okay.
Cloying, whatever.
Yeah, it's not at all.
No.
Okay, flavors. What I get on the entrance is the sweetness of the agave with kind of a citrusy floral thing. Very light on the citrus, but the floral aspect. And it's not like flowers.
Right.
More an herbaceous floral. Hard to describe.
I'm getting a tint of vanilla.
I don't know if we oaked this. It might do really well oaked. I don't think we did, though. A year ago, we weren't really all that into oaking yet, so we probably did not. Next time we will. That would make this even better. This, though, there's almost... Okay, I am not getting any notes that I don't like. Let's put it that way. There's nothing displeasurable about this. I'm very happy about this.
It's got a little bit of almost like a lemony.
That's the citrus I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a tang in there, almost like a, not quite tartness, but it's like a tang, like oh wow, like it's tangy, okay? It's so hard to describe these flavors because it's so unique. All right, let me do this.
I drank all the tequila. And I wish now that I hadn't, because it'd be interesting to pair the tequila with this.
Yeah.
Because we were getting some of those brandy notes in the tequila.
And that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting like a light fruit, like a pear.
Yep.
Maybe even a little bit of apricot. Not quite apple, almost apple.
I think pear is the closest.
Pear is probably the closest thing. This has the flavor of pear, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of like a lemony thing. Really, there's a lot of complexity to it, way more than I remember. I remember liking this when we first made it, because I did drink some, but I don't remember liking it quite this much. It has improved in a year.
And it's interesting to me because it is significantly sweet.
Yeah.
But that sweetness isn't hindering the complexity of the beverage at all.
No. And, you know, the whole thing with sweetness, it's kind of perspective. You might say 1.032 is, whoa, that's super sweet. And for some people, it probably is way off the charts sweet for them. Then there's other people that might taste this and say, well, that's just right. It's perspective a lot of the times. And each brew is different. Some brews, you can go super sweet and it doesn't taste sweet. Others, you'll taste it right away. This one, honestly, I wouldn't want this less sweet. I like it exactly where it is.
And I really enjoy how the level of sweetness is pairing nicely with the different flavors that are coming through.
Right.
like the sweetness and the vanilla work together. The sweetness and the fruit notes work together.
Exactly.
The sweetness and the citrus notes work together, and a little floral pop in there. It all works together, and nothing is discordant. It's all just coming together very lovely.
Well, I think the sweetness is enhancing the fruity flavors.
Yeah.
And fruit needs to be sweet, or else it doesn't really taste like fruit. It just tastes like some weird hint of something. But this is fantastic. It's a little low on the ABV, 8.4, so it's like, it's barely wine. But it's okay.
But, my cocktail brain is now going ballistic. Going, oh.
Why would you want to mix this?
Because it's so sweet.
This
I
is
have
not
the
a mixer.
opportunity
Well,
to
if you really
add
want to.
different things to it.
Meanwhile, I'll just put this in a glass and drink it. This is...
Yeah. Yeah.
This bottle's
simply a
not making
standalone.
it through the day.
I wasn't doing cocktails because I want to improve it. I just think that it has such a lovely profile by itself that it can enhance other things rather than having other things enhance this, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Pear, vanilla, and a little touch of lemon. That's the main flavor notes that I'm getting from this. It tastes like it's got some barrel age to it, though. It really does.
It does. It does taste oaked.
And I wonder if agave is fired in some way when it's created to get the juice out. If it is, then that explains that slightly. But wow, this is just really, really good. I mean, we talk about how can you improve something. I think the only thing we can do to this is put this on oak. That's the only thing that would make this better.
And because it's already tastes oak to me, I'm uncertain
Wouldn't need much, just a little.
that would actually improve it.
Amburana would improve this.
Amburana, because then he'd
Amburana
get the
makes
spice notes
everything
that he
better.
loves.
But this is, yeah, okay.
And I think this is great because we went into this kind of begrudgingly. Like, we were like, oh, everybody wants us to make agave, and Brian didn't like agave. So,
I believe
And then we were
this
surprised.
stalled. I do believe this stalled.
and I'm okay with that. I'm seriously okay with that
Yeah.
because this is delightful.
Well, I mean, that's the only explanation for why it would still be a 1.032 and 8.4%. It stalled.
I don't
Is this
know-
repeatable?
I don't know if we added fermented O to this particular recipe.
I do not know at all. We probably did not. I think it's
Yeah, I
we
think
haven't
it's pre-
we haven't really been doing all that for that long.
Yeah.
This might have just been a super simple recipe. So you know what that means? That's now a challenge to recreate agave wine using a little bit better method and more predictable. Because even though this stalled, it's done. I believe agave and the agave syrup or nectar that we had a lot of unfermentable sugars in it. I don't know that it had quite that much, but I know it can have some unfermentable
Sure.
sugars. So that could be part of that,
Right.
which will still give you sweetness,
Yeah.
but it just won't ferment, which is a really lovely way to not have to pasteurize. Though we may have pasteurized this, I don't know.
But if you want to replicate this particular item, then when it gets to the gravity reading of 1.032, pasteurize that bad boy and bottle it.
Well, you can also just ferment dry, add more agave until it gets up to the 1.032, and then pasteurize.
Yeah,
That's the more reliable way to do it.
right, but we won't know the dilution versus the more agave. Will it change the flavor profile from what we have now? It's an unknown.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a challenge to me to remake an agave wine, especially since it came out this good. And since it's that good, I think I need a little bit more.
And this is why I'm happy that it's low ABV, because it's certainly one of those that you can just sip all day long
Yeah, this bottle's not going to,
to be happy
like I said,
with
this
it.
bottle's not going to make it through the day.
Now, I said sip because it is significantly sweet, and I don't think this is a chugger.
No,
of
no, no. This is an experience. It's more of an experience.
It'd be like eating too much candy all at once. Your head would explode. But a nice
She keeps saying it's super sweet. I don't think so. I think it's just right. I think it's just right.
I think it's funny how we kind of shifted because
I can appreciate dry, but I still like sweet.
and I'm starting to be favoring the dry
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, definitely. But anyway, I'm ready to put a score on this. Our scoring system goes from 1 through 10. 1 being complete crap that you would probably dump out. 10 is like the best stuff you got. 11, if we went to 11, means it's like the best thing you'll probably make in the next year or two or more. Just outstanding, stellar. And then The range from 1 to 10, you know, in between, is from ick to awe. That's the basic gist of it. So, you know, it's a range, sliding scale, if you will. And honestly, the scores don't mean a thing. It's kind of like whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
Very subjective.
Yes.
However, I just need one more sip to make my choice. Okay, I'm good. You ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, 10. I didn't know you were going there. I was like, I know I'm going to 10. I know I'm going to 10. This is fabulous. This is fantastic.
I was like, do I really? Is it a 9 point? No, it's a 10. It's a 10. There's
The first
nothing...
criteria is what is there any displeasurable? There's not one note in that that I would say I don't like.
If it was higher ABV, then that might be a detractor for me.
Well, I think a higher ABV might actually offset the excess sweetness that you think it has.
True.
So there's that too.
I don't know. It's lovely. It's shockingly lovely.
Before we were so rudely interrupted by the phone, I forget exactly where we were, but I think we were just talking about how lovely this is.
It's just lovely, I think is what I was saying, because there's nothing detracting from it. There's nothing that you could even remotely think about changing to make it better. I mean, Brian said oak it.
That would make it an 11.
It feels like it's already
Actually,
oaked.
it might not. We'd have to test that. You know, and that's the thing. Sometimes it improves it. Sometimes it's not the best thing to do.
But the one thing I'm taking away from this, other than we should make more agave wine, is that maybe using agave as a base for other flavorant profiles might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, we're already getting the pear notes. Maybe if we added pear to an agave, would that be like the perfect pear wine?
The perfect pairing?
The perfect pairing?
Yeah. Okay, now we're going off. We're into the woods now, but basically this is amazing. I would like to try it again without the stall and using a little bit better methodology. Maybe we can get it to clear even. Not that that's a critical thing, but it'd be nice. Make a really pretty agave wine, somewhere in like 11 to 12% for preservation's sake. This made it a year though at 8.4.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. A testament to screw cap bottle. I mean, it's just a plain old simple screw cap bottle. We got them from Amazon, I think.
Yeah, and they have the foam insert in the top, so that it's a similar seal as to the Northern Brewer little
kept at room temperature, all that, and it made it a full year, no problem. Probably could go another year without any issue. This bottle won't, because it's going to get drank today. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.